Hi, good morning, everybody. If we can start getting settled so we can start the program, please. All right, I think people are finally rolling in, so we're going to start the program in about a minute or so. We got simultaneous translation going on. So for people who can't understand what I'm saying today, if you look at the screen, they're going to translate, hopefully make me sound a little bit more coherent than I actually am. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Dean Matsubayashi, and I'm the Executive Director for the Little Tokyo Service Center. And let me just start off by saying thank you to all of you for coming out this morning to help the Little Tokyo Service Center, Korean Resource Center, and Durae Alpha Corporation to celebrate the grand opening of Durae Senior Apartments. And we really emphasize the word celebrate. Hey, Richard Gerwin. We really emphasize the word celebrate because we have many things to celebrate today. First, we are celebrating the grand opening of 67 units of sorely needed affordable housing for low-income seniors in the neighborhood. I think everybody in this room understands that the City of Los Angeles, the County of Los Angeles, are struggling with a major affordable housing crisis. LA County not only needs more than 525,000 additional units of affordable housing to meet the needs of extremely low income and very low income residents, but it's also struggling with finding new sources to help offset the loss of over $465 million in affordable housing capital that was what provided by the federal, state, and local governments. We recognize the magnitude of the challenge in front of us, so we're excited today to make a very small dent in this crisis. I think, and I'm speaking on behalf of KRC and Durae, I think we can all pledge to you also our commitment to working alongside our champions here in this room for affordable housing to advocate for more resources and more affordable housing in LA. The second thing we're celebrating is that we will provide that with the project that we're standing in right now, and the other one on what's the other street that we're on? Thank you. We'll provide over 3,000 square feet of community space for our amazing partner, the Korean Resource Center, so they can continue to organize and build community and fight for greater social and economic justice. And the last thing we're celebrating today is that the project is finally open after over 10 years. Yeah. I think most people understand kind of what this project has gone through, but Durae Senior Apartments is the last project of ours that got turned upside down by the 2008 economic crisis. The project teetered on the brink of collapse many times over the years, and I think really had a huge negative impact on all of our organizations. So I think it's safe to say that we would not be standing here today if not for the resiliency, creativity, and hard work of our development team, beginning with the amazing staff of LTSC and KRC who worked on the project. So folks, the staff is pretty We also want to make sure we thank our board members of both organizations, KRC and LTSC. So if any of you are here, please stand up and be recognized, because it's through your leadership that we were able to weather the storm and complete the project. And then lastly, we want to make sure that we recognize other members of our development team, beginning with our architect, Brian Tent, who's in the back. Brian, please be recognized. Our general contractor, Walton Construction, are they here? They are, please be recognized. Our construction manager, Freddie Pinedo, Castle and Gray. I see Castle and Gray here, but maybe not Freddie, but did a great job. And last but not least, the amazing Perla Eskin, our financial consultant and / security blanket, for sticking with us all these years. So, Perla, please stand up. Perla hates to be recognized, but she's kind of slowly easing into retirement, so we're going to make sure we recognize her appropriately today. So thank you, Perla. So it's also true that we would not be standing here today if not for the strong support and leadership that we receive from our elected officials and many funders involved in this project. Later on in this program, we'll have an opportunity to celebrate them and allow them to say a few remarks. But I want to make sure that we give a very special shout out to our elected officials who really went above and beyond to make sure this project happened. I want to recognize State Assembly Member Miguel Santiago, LA County Supervisor Mark Willie Thomas, who will be joining us shortly, Congressman Javier Becerra, who is represented here today by Becky Lee, LA City Council President Herb Weston, who is represented here today by Liz Carlin, LA City Council Member David Lee, who is represented by our friend Alex Kim. We also want to make sure to thank the many public and private entities, as well as the nonprofit intermediaries and foundations who supported this project. In total, I believe over 13 different funders that helped make this project happen. So thank you to all of you. Staff wanted me to also give a very special shout out to Saeed Ali, who helped push this project school fee refund, as well as Joel Jacinto, the Commissioner of the Board of Public Works, who really helped us kind of put the final nails in the coffins of this project. Before we bring up our speakers, I would like to introduce KRC board member, Ms. Kyoju Lee, who's going to say a few words.
Oh, well, you know, my heart is so pounding. Maybe I'm scared to give a speech, but I don't think so. You know, this is the most exciting occasion that I'm going to say a few words, and mostly a thank you word. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. I extend a special welcome to invited guests and speakers, who include Assemblymember Miguel Santiago and County Supervisor Mark Willie Thomas. So it is an honor to be standing here before all of you for the grand opening of the Durae Senior Apartment. Durae is a Korean word. Durae. That refers to a communal spirit. I don't know, even the Koreans may not understand right. So this is old, you know, kind of word that we used to have in old, in the little village. So, 안녕하십니까? 좋은 아침입니다. 오랫동안 기다려오던 두레 연장자 아파트 기다리시게 함께 해주셔서 정말 감사합니다. Our organization, the Korean Resource Center, was founded 33 years ago in 1983 with 4 mottos. Live justly, know your roots, and live strong, and live together. 민족학교는 33년 전 1983년에 4가지 교훈을 가지고 설립되었습니다. 첫째는 다르게 살자, 또 뿌리를 알자, 또 굳세게 살자, 그리고 제일 제가 중요하고 실천하기 어렵다고 생각하는 더불어 살자. 이것만 실행이 된다면 이 세상에 전쟁은 없고 가정의 불화도 없고 모든 것이 평화로워지리라고 생각합니다. Since then, we have stayed true to these four principles, but we have also evolved and grown. The Durae Senior Apartments is one of the examples of many of these. Moving forward, we are committed to providing important culturally competent services and programs for the surrounding low-income older adult population. 33년간 우리는 4가지 교훈을 성심껏 지켜왔으며 다양한 서비스를 추가해왔고 방 하나를 빌려서 시작했던 민족학교는 이제 LA, 크랜쇼, 킹슬리 또 오렌지 카운티의 사무실을 열어서 3군데서 여러분들께 봉사하고 있습니다. 크랜쇼와 킹슬리의 둘의 연장자 아파트의 완공은 좋은 예의 하나라 하겠습니다. 앞으로도 저희는 주위의 저소득 연장자들께 꼭 필요한 프로그램과 서비스를 제공하는 데 박차를 가할 것입니다. As many of you know, KRC has had a dream of providing affordable housing to the city's senior community for many, many years. This could not have happened without the support of so many individuals and organizations. 여러분들도 아시다시피 민족학교는 오랜 기간 동안을 한인타운 내의 저소득 연장자 여러분들께 절실한 저소득 아파트를 제공하겠다는 꿈을 가져왔습니다. 오늘 드디어 우리의 꿈은 현실이 되었어요. 그리고 이 꿈은 여러분들과 또 많은 단체들의 밀어줌과 끌어짐이 없이는 실현될 수 없었습니다. I would like to first thank the lead developer, Little Tokyo Service Center, our co-developer, Decro Alpha Corporation, our architect, Carden Architects, and the general contractor, Walton Construction Services. 감사합니다. Also, thanks to our funders that include Low Income Support Coalition, Citibank, LA County General Fund, and the Los Angeles Housing and Community Investment Department. It's very long. 위에 말씀드린 모든 분들께 감사드립니다. We would not be here today if not for the passion and dedication of our community supporters. In particular, the Community Health Promoters, CHP라고 부르죠. Our Senior Organizing Group. 무엇보다도 먼저 민족학교를 후원해 주시는 커뮤니티 후원자 여러분과 또 여러분 한 분 한 분과 특히 민족학교 연장자 모임 가주 보건 리더 회원들의 끊임없는 헌신과 열정이 없었다면은 이 일이 결코 이루어질 수 없었음에 이들에게 큰 감사와 박수를 보냅니다. Please put your hand together to recognize their vital contribution to KRC and the community. Thank you. And finally, in closing, I am pleased to share that we just received a special donation from the Yun Hambong Commemoration Committee based in Korea. The late Mr. Yun, as some of you know, was one of the founders of KRC. Actually, he is the one who started persuading young youth, in Los Angeles area including me. I was once young. So, yeah, that's how the KRC started, and I really appreciate their, special. They send us the congratulatory the letters and what is it? Some the donations. So 이제 제 인사말을 맺으면서요, 여러분들과 함께 기쁜 마음으로 감사의 소식을 나누려 합니다. 한국에 있는 합수 유남봉 기념사업회의 오수성 이사장님께서 두레 아파트의 개막식을 축하하는 축사와 축하부금을 보냈습니다. 합수 유남봉 기념사업회에 깊이 감사드립니다. We have come full circle, and we look forward to many years of serving and empowering the senior population in Los Angeles. Thank you. 네, 민족학회는 앞으로도 끊임없이 연장자 여러분들께 봉사하며 또 연장자 여러분들의 인권 신장을 위해 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Our first speaker is our good friend, County Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas. Supervisor Ridley Thomas is one of the biggest champions of affordable housing and economic progress, not just for the 2nd District, but for all of Los Angeles. He continues to lead the larger dialogue on the need for greater funding for affordable housing and remains a true advocate for programs that increase the economic self-sufficiency of our most vulnerable communities. Ladies and gentlemen, Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas.
Well, good morning to everyone. Good morning. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. Good morning to everyone. We're happy to be here. Give somebody a high five and tell them you're just happy to be here. A high five to everybody in the room. Somebody ought to be happy that they woke up this morning. I thank you for the invitation to be here. We ought to give a shout out to the Little Tokyo Service Center for the work that they do. Dean, give him another round of applause. It's a great day to be in Koreatown today. I'm delighted to be here to celebrate with you yet again. I would say to you, no development is simple. It's been a decade in the making, but we are here now. Rush, we are here now, and we are delighted. We are proud. If you're proud to be here, just clap your hands in celebration of the Durae senior partner. There were quite a number of people who contributed to the effort, both public and private. We thank all of the contributors, all of the heart. Thank you all, because had it not been for you, had it not been for you, my life would be one I want to say thank you to the County of Los Angeles, the Community Development Commission. We're delighted that Pansy Yee is here representing the commission. Pansy, give your whole team a big round of applause for the work that they are doing. It's a pleasure for the county. It is a part of the responsibility of the county to be in the work that we're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my view that in a democratic society, housing, that is to say shelter, is fundamental to what it means to be human, to be able to live with a sense of dignity and purpose. It is my view that if anybody deserves to live in dignity, it is the seniors, it is the elders of our community. If you believe that, you can just acknowledge the elders in the room themselves. We're in a significant crisis as it relates to housing. Dean already made reference to the homeless crisis. It is a matter of affordability. We have at least 47,000 reasons in the county of Los Angeles to be concerned about doing all that we can to work on the issue of homelessness, all that we can to build affordable housing. And it seems to me that if you appreciate that, you will know that according to a recent UCLA study, 1.1 million seniors, 1.1 million seniors live in poverty in our state, and that's not a good expression. This means that we have work to do. It means we have to scale up our efforts. It means it requires patience, perseverance, tenacity. It means it requires KRC and the Little Tokyo Service Center to roll up their sleeves, hang together, and put their backs in the project, and that's why Durae is a gold standard project. It's just sustainably built, and it will make this community better. When you drive either north or south on Crenshaw, you see a nicely new appointed building, and it brings the quality of life up on this corner, and we are proud of that. We need more projects just like this. Don't you agree? Yeah. More projects like this. So we'll have that if we do what we need to do in November with Measure H, the LA City Housing Bond that will generate approximately $1.2 to $1.4 billion for affordable housing. That means we'll build approximately 800 to 1,000 new housing units every year for the next 10 years. And then the state of California is intending to come forward with its work, and so we are on our way to do big things in terms of affordable housing. We have a lot to do, a whole lot to do. And then in March, we need to get ready to do the rest of the work with respect to homelessness. We build affordable housing, don't have the appropriate services, we have a problem. Do you hear me? So we don't want a half loaf, we want the whole thing. We want Durae apartments and more. And so gold standard it is. We give a shout out to the 67 fortunate, wonderful, worthy seniors who will be able to live here, because it means that they are going to live in a place that honors their dignity and their worth. So I'm delighted to be here, just to say that the County of Los Angeles will continue to partner with you, as well as with the other private and public partners in this effort. I simply want to acknowledge that it's good to have collaboration on the public side. Your assemblyman here, the one and only Miguel Santiago is here. Give him a shout out. He's here. And on the one end of the continuum, you have senior housing, and then on the other end of the continuum, you have new births being done. Miguel is a new father, second time around. Give him a shout out. He just had a new baby. Yeah, a whole continuum. So I have a presentation to make. If someone would be kind enough to share it with me. I want those who are worthy of being presented a county resolution to come forward right now. Dean and the chair of the board, yes, come. And anybody else who wants to. Yes. So this is on behalf of the County of Los Angeles, and it acknowledges this grand opening. It's been with great anticipation. Where are you going? Stand right by me. I feel better. All right. Thank you so much. You may be the chair of the board, but I'm a reader right now. Sincere congratulations. You still to know it. It's with sincere congratulations and best wishes that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles does hereby join in this very special and long-awaited celebration at the Durae Senior Apartments. A wonderful round of applause to these new seniors who are here, who will have a wonderful experience at this great place. Congratulations.
Okay. I think we also have a presentation for you, so do you want to bring it up, Frank? Why don't we stay up here? We want to take a photo also of the supervisor. Very simple.
Okay, this is very nice. Thank you.
Bring my hands back here too, folks.
Okay, back there. Who are you?
Okay, one over here, please.
Yeah, people need to watch this clip.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Supervisor Ridley Thomas. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You're always dropping some knowledge and always breaking it down for us, and also clearly laying out what we need to do, right, as part of the affordable housing community if we want to see more projects like this being built. So thank you again for your leadership and for being here this morning. Our next speaker is the proud father of a new baby girl. Right? I mean, I was actually Assemblyman Miguel Santiago. I was actually at an event with Miguel yesterday morning, and we were told that morning that his wife gave birth at 5 p.m. the evening before. And we're like, okay, so does Miguel want to reschedule? Like, no, he really wanted to come, kind of talk to folks. It's really important. So we thought he was going to roll in his pajamas, right? Straight from the hospital, very But once again, one of the most sharpest dressed guys also that I know of, at least in Sacramento, Miguel Santiago. But he's more than just a fashion icon. Assemblyman Miguel Santiago is also a very good friend, representing the 53rd Assembly District that includes Koreatown and Little Tokyo. And he really is a true advocate for the poor and working class. He's also one of the biggest champions in Sacramento for affordable housing. I know they're working side by side with the county and other local governments to really get that sort of alignment that is necessary to really make a dent in this crisis that we're struggling with right now. So he's also been, I've known him since he worked for Judy Chu, I don't know how many years ago. So he's definitely a true champion and a true advocate for all neighborhoods of color. So ladies and gentlemen, Assemblyman Miguel Santiago.
And a big round of applause for the supervisor. This guy's a rock star, I'll tell you. I'll take a moment of personal privilege, but this guy helped us move an agenda in Sacramento. When we talked about the homelessness issue, he called me up, he got behind us, and we moved forward a resolution to asking the governor to declare a state of emergency over the issue of homelessness. This is serious business, because very few people want to stand up to the governor, and no less than our supervisor was the first one to stand up and say, let's take this to him and let's make him do something about it. And this is a really serious issue. So give him a big round of applause. It's important, I'll tell you why. And I'll use rounded numbers. But if you've got close to 48,000 people in the county of Los Angeles, and those are the counted numbers who sleep on sidewalks every single night, when in the state of California you got close to 120,000 people, that's the counted number. And in my district alone, it's argued that between 8,000 and 10,000 people live on the streets, and that's the counted number any given night. I represent Skid Row, and the counted number there is 7,800 people. And that includes kids, that includes veterans, that includes folks within the middle range age, but it also includes a lot of seniors. And it is almost criminal to take a look at something like that happening in modern America, let alone here in the state of California. So when we take a look at the projects, like Little Tokyo Service Center is putting on today, like the Korean Resource Center, and all the groups that have been mentioned. This is an incredible and historic moment that at a time when we're losing the fight for affordable housing, even before the ballot initiatives that the supervisor was talking about, there are groups of people who are helping us to build the affordable housing that is much necessary, and to help us build a coalition. Because the things that you're doing today here that have made this successful is going to be what makes the ballot initiatives and the conversation about affordable housing successful. Because if we need close to 500,000, as the supervisor pointed out, close to 500,000 affordable housing units in LA County, and if there's over 1 million seniors who are poor, food insecure, or on the verge of homelessness, this takes us one step forward. And these organizations have figured out how to do it and how to do it right. Because everybody else talks about market rate, and I'm not against market rate, but God bless the people who can afford market rate. But there is a huge population that can't. And the work that you do is absolutely incredible. And I'll keep talking about it because in the legislature we've had conversations. You know, we pushed forward over $2 billion for homelessness and wraparound support services. We started off last year because of conversations with some of you folks to push $1 billion of affordable housing. We ended up getting $400 million, and it fell apart because the governor wasn't budgeting on a couple of items. So we're going to ramp it up next year. I'm going to call on the supervisor to put on his boxing gloves, and we're going to go right back at it to ensure that we get the monies that we need, we get the momentum that we need, that we pass the ballot initiatives that we need, so that we can increase our affordable housing stock, but particularly for seniors. Seniors are our most precious resource that we have in our communities. They've raised us, they've taught us, they've passed on our culture. They are exactly who we are. And we want to thank you for helping us to develop our communities, for all that you've given in your lifetime, and the least we can do is ensure that you have some dignity and that you have a place to rest your head at night, and that you can eat, you wake up in the morning, and that you're happy, and that you can continue to generate many experiences and moments that help us to create what we call communities. So I want to thank you very much again for the hard work that you've done, Dean and everybody else who's involved. I always kind of take a look at Dean and think like, that's that little engine that could, right? Because everybody said he couldn't do it, and then it happened. So thank you very much, Dean, for your work. Little Tokyo Service Center, Korean Resource Center, everybody else who's been involved, and all you folks who are here and help us to keep pushing on, because we need more affordable housing, and we need to take care of our seniors. God bless you.
This is very cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's always awkward to be singled out at these events because I probably worked on this project at least. So Takao Suzuki, our Director of Community Economic Development, will be introducing our funders later on today. So please make sure when he does come up here, you get a big round of applause because he and his team are the ones that really made this project happen. But thank you again, Santiago, for all your support and for being here this morning. Our next speaker is Mr. Alex Kim, representing Council Member David Rue of Council District 4. Alex? We really appreciate Councilmember Rue's support for building affordable housing in this time of need. I've also personally known Alex since his days working with Mayor Jimmy Hahn back then, and he continues to be one of the biggest advocates for the Asian American Pacific Islander community. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alex Kim.
Thank you so much, Well, it's good to be here. Apologies for Councilman David Rue. He does have some votes at City Council right now, couldn't make it, but he asked me here to really be here to represent the office. And you are in the 4th District, so welcome to the 4th District of the City of LA. Our district, thank you. Our district is pretty large. It entails from Sherman Oaks, part of Koreatown, all the way down to Los Feliz. But he does understand the importance of affordable housing. One of the important things, he got elected because of the housing issues. Well, he was more on the opposite of that, where we had a lot of housing folks, developers coming in, but what we want is make sure that we have transparent development, making sure that all the neighborhood councils and all the neighborhood associations are aware of the developments. But one of the very important things is to help seniors. They need housing. We are in a housing crisis. Very happy to help that. And one of the things that you don't know about is Councilman Rue and myself, we've known each other for the past 16 years with various community members from the Asian Pacific and Korean American communities. And I'm glad, you know, one of the things he talked about was making sure that, as they say, that you're not on the menu, you're on the table. You need to have a seat on the table. And he decided to run for office and get more representation on the LA City Council. He is the only Asian American on the City Council currently and the first Korean American to be elected. And thanks to the help from the community, from Little Tokyo Service Center, Korean Resource Center, for helping out with that. And just to put a little comment, you know, we are, even with the issues happening today, we do have a renaissance happening, as you know. You see downtown LA, you see the rise of the Wilshire Grand building. We're very proud that it's a Korean Air building. Yes, the tallest building in the West Coast, and that's going to open next year. But we're going to have some members in the community that are afraid, they want to stop things. You know, we have this neighborhood integrity initiative that's being discussed for next year. You know, that Councilman believes that does not make sense, because you're going to stop development from happening for issues like to help out the homeless, to help the seniors, and various other groups that need housing. So we have to make sure we think that and think smart. It's also symbolic too as well, you know, having this grand opening of the Durae Senior Apartments. You know, we have the 15th anniversary of the 9/11 coming up. You know, we need to honor our past, but also remember we are rebuilding. Koreatown's rebuilding. We have the 25th anniversary of the LA riots coming up next year. You know, we need more coalition building. You know, Councilman David is really important. He really understands the importance of getting together. So on that note, I'd like to end with an African proverb, which symbolizes today. If you want to go quickly, you go alone. If you want to go far, you work together. So thank you for all of you, all of the agencies, all the government and public-private partnerships happening here today to make this a success. On behalf of Councilman David Rue, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Dropping knowledge of African proverb, all right?
Yeah. Wow.
With all due respect to our elected officials, I'd now like to introduce our special guest and keynote speaker, Ms. Kang-nam Lee. If you could please come up. Ms. Lee is not only a board member for KRC, but she is also a member of Cavalry, the community senior group here for the office of KRC. She has definitely exemplified the leadership that KRC is playing here in the community in terms of really organizing the members and really empowering them to really have a voice in what happens in their respective communities. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Kang-nam Lee.
안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 바쁘신데 시간을 내셔 이곳까지 왕림해 주셔서 감사합니다. 저는 민족학교 산하에 있는 연장자 모임의 일원인 이강남이라고 합니다. 제가 알기로는 비영리단체 유일하게 연장자 모임이 있는 곳이 민족학교뿐인 줄 알고 있습니다. 그래서 연장자 모임을 소개해드리고자 이 자리에 섰습니다. 연장자 모임은 2006년에 창립되어 금년에 10년째 맞이했습니다. 그간에 등록된 회원은 약 500여 명이 되며 매월 넷째 주 금요일에 정기 모임이 있는데 그때마다 출석 인원이 평균 70, 80명이 됩니다.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming here to the grand opening of the Durae apartments. My name is Gangnam Lee, and I'm a member of the Community Health Promoters at the Korean Resource Center. It's a seniors group at the organization. I believe the Korean Resource Center is one of the few organizations that has a senior group within the organization. The Community Health Promoter was started 10 years ago. And before that, there are many seniors who were active with the founding of the organization. Currently, there's over 500 members registered, and every fourth Friday of each month, there's a monthly meeting, and 70 to 80 members participate in the meetings.
그간 우리들이 해나온 일을 간략하게 말씀드리면 선거 캠페인, 이민자 권익 보호 캠페인, 하우징에 대한 캠페인 및 서명운동을 했으며 무려 5천여 명의 서명을 받았습니다. 노인들이 발이 부러 터지도록 뛰어다니며 한남체인학, 교회, 가가호호 방문, 한국은할 행사장, 각 병원 등 안 가는 것이 없이 다녔습니다. 그 고충은 말로 다 할 수 없습니다. 이렇게 노력한 결과로 이곳 주민들의 반대에도 불구하고 오늘 보신 바와 같은 훌륭한 아파트 건물이 건축되었습니다. 메디칼 치과 진료가 중단되어 다시 회복해달라는 캠페인, 또 메디칼에 관한 모든 정보와 편지를 한글로 기재해 줄 것을 건의하였고, 이상 여러가지 일을 성사시키기 위해 시청, LA시청, 세크라멘토 주정부, 워싱턴 DC 연방정부 관계자분들을 방문하여 건의해 왔습니다.
So the Community Health Promoter Seniors Group has been involved in elections work, city engagement, protecting immigrant rights, housing rights, and many petition campaigns for this. And more than 5,000 people signed petitions asking for more low-income housing. Seniors have been going to many places, public places, asking for petitions, going to Korean supermarkets, churches, doing house visits, going to Koreatown festivals and hospitals, and collecting petitions in support of low-income housing. As a result of this, as you can see, this apartment was built. And besides this campaign, we have also been involved in restoring dental benefits for the medical program, and as a result of it, the dental program was restored. And also asking that the medical-related notice letters be sent in various languages besides English and Spanish, which was also implemented. In order to do this, we have been visiting decision makers in the City Council, Sacramento, and Washington D.C., and other federal representatives.
그 결과 메디칼에 관한 모든 문제가 한글로 기재해 주었고, 치과 진료는 부분적인 진료가 가능하게 되었습니다. 아직 이루지 못한 일들은 계속해서 캠페인과 서명운동으로 우리들의 요구사항을 끝까지 밀고 나갈 것입니다. 무슨 일이든지 민족학교에서 하는 일에는 앞장서서 참여해 왔으며 앞으로도 이렇게 계속 추진할 것입니다. 또 앞으로 이 모임을 더욱 발전시키고 친목을 도모하기 위하여 노래교실, 라인댄스, 사물놀이 등등 건강을 위한 다양한 프로그램을 개발하여 운영할 계획이며 핸드폰 사용법 지도교실도 개설하고 부업거리도 찾고 있습니다. 여러분께서 노인들의 가정 경제에 조금이나마 도움이 될 일거리가 있으면 저희들의 손을 활용해 주세요. 그러면 감사하겠습니다. 더욱더 건강한 모습으로 홈리트에 봉사하는 모임이 될 것을 여러분 앞에서 다짐합니다. 많은 사랑 부탁합니다. 감사합니다.
We will continue to fight for social justice and the community empowerment. We'll participate in many of the work that's being done at the Korean Resource Center, and we'll continue to empower seniors and educate seniors through education activities, singing classes, dance classes, and so forth. We hope that many seniors will join us in this quest for justice and community rights, and continue to support and be part of the Kramer Center Community Health Promoters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Thank you again. Another round of applause for Ms. Lee for her activism and for her energy. So as all of us know, it takes a village to do affordable housing, and in this case, it was no different. The Housing and Community Investment Department, also known as HCID LA, was absolutely instrumental in moving the project over the finish line. So at a time when we were unsuccessful twice with the 9% low-income housing tax credits, HCID LA and their team, especially Tim Elliott, actually stepped in and provided the additional capital necessary to make the project work as a 4% tax exempt bond project, and invested $7.6 million into the project. At this time, I would like to welcome Rushmore Cervantes, the General Manager of the Housing and Community Investment Department of the City of LA.
Thank you very much, Mikao. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I feel like I've come full circle. Many years ago, when I was working with the City Department of Aging, and there we provided social services, made sure that seniors had meals, made sure that there was job training, making sure that the integrity of their lives was intact, providing necessary services throughout the city. All these years later now, the Housing and Community Investment Department, and it's important to note the name. It's long, but it's about investment into the community with housing. It's not just building a house, it's building a home with the services. What we're providing here across the city, including right here, are homes for seniors, our valued treasure. And to come back all these years later from providing services originally for seniors to see them being housed, it's really heartwarming. I actually used to work with Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas, who was a champion for senior services back then, and now he's pushing at the county level to ensure that we're getting resources for not only homeless housing, but affordable housing such as this. Takao and Dean also referenced how difficult it is to build something like this, certainly senior housing. It's one of the most challenging affordable housing projects there are. This took 10 years, but when we deal with partners like Little Tokyo Service Center, they're wonderful partners to be with, no matter how long it takes, because the quality of services and the quality of the homes they provide are second to none. This is one of 8 projects that we've done now with them, with another 3 in the pipeline. They're a tremendous organization. The service providers they contract with will no doubt provide quality services for the Korean community or the seniors that are here in this community. So we are pleased to be here today for the groundbreaking, so the ribbon cutting for this particular project, and most importantly, we're excited for the community as a whole, but also for the residents that have the opportunity to reside here. So with that, thank you very much, and congratulations. Another picture.
Thank you, Rushmore. So next up, the Los Angeles Community Development Commission were one of the first funders on this project, and they worked tirelessly to develop affordable housing, not just in the city of Los Angeles, but throughout the entire county. For this project, they committed $1.1 million in county general funds. And please welcome Pansy Yee from the LA County Community Development Commission.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here on behalf of Monique, She's our Deputy Executive Director. She woke up with a slight cold this morning, so I'm really pleased to be here on her behalf. And I want to extend the Community Development Commission's congratulations to the development team. So everybody has talked about, how difficult it is to build affordable housing, and particularly senior housing. And I want to point out to you as you walk around the building that this is an extraordinary building. The Community Development Commission requires that when you build senior housing, that you meet the specific needs of the seniors. Their mobility issues and their vision changes and hearing changes over time. This is commonly called universal design. And so the development team, I think, went at it with great gusto and went beyond what was required. So they have gone ahead and did something, I think, beyond what is typically required. They put in the grab bars. They also put in the emergency systems that could eventually, the wiring for emergency systems that could eventually be needed. There are non-slip wall floors. And as you walk around the building, you may also notice, I think one of the obvious things is that the corridors are wider, the stairwells are a little, wider, easier to navigate for walkers and for wheelchairs. And if you walk up and down the halls, you'll notice that the doors will probably have 2 levers. It's one for the normal-sized person and one for somebody who's actually in a wheelchair. So we congratulate the development team for this great work, and we want to go ahead and present you with a certificate. Thank you.
Thank you, Pansy. So the State of California Department of Housing and Community Development, also known as ACVs, the Innovative Infill Infrastructure Grant was very critical to providing this project to the finish line, and by providing $2.2 million for this project. At this time, please put your hands together and welcome Eric Doltarif from the Housing and Community Development in Sacramento.
Hello everyone, thank you for the invitation. I'm here on behalf of Department of Housing and Community Development. My boss, Ben Metcalf, our director. I've got to say, I've been attending these celebrations for about 6 years now. And this has to be the best one so far. I've never attended a grand opening that was a bilingual event. It's unique. And the other thing is, when I hear the local jurisdictions speak about the particular development, it's interesting because at the state level, we're at kind of like the 30,000 foot level. So we dispense. So we don't really get to experience the fine details of all the services up close and personal, and it's nice to hear that. So it's true, we extended an infill infrastructure grant, about $2.2 million, and to help pay for the infrastructure here. And we're proud to be able to say that we can add Durae to a growing list of developments that have received our funding, and that to date, actually, in this particular program, we've funded and fully dispersed 69 developments, affordable developments. And that equates to about $311 million. And we're not finished yet. And this particular program is intended to be sunsetting soon, but we have a whole plethora full of additional programs that we are making available. So this is just one program. And we're very proud of it. And we just want to say thank you for being able to partner with Little Tokyo Services Center and to see how we're all working together as a team to increase the inventory of very much needed affordable housing in this state. So again, I thank you.
If you could.
Oh, I get one too?
We're increasing your life.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So City Community Capital, we're really fortunate to have them on board on this project, and you know, the city has been a long time supporter of LTSC and not just on this project. And we work with a great team at City, and I think I want to particularly give special thanks to Sonia. She's somewhere here in the crowd. And Sonia and the city team worked tirelessly to provide $14 million of construction loan financing, and we wouldn't have been able to do this without them. So at this time I want to welcome up Richard Gurwitz, the Managing Director and Co-Head of City Community Capital.
Thank you, Tom. This is the part that everyone really looks forward to when the banker speaks. I can take a page out of Supervisor Ridley Thomas's book and say, if you believe that, put your hands together. But thank you. I've been doing this for a long time. I know a lot of people that this is what they do. I know bankers and lawyers and developers, trustees, and they do it as a mission. This is really the people who are in this industry. For the people in this industry, it's a labor of love, producing and funding and producing and seeing projects like Durae up and running, and the benefits that it provides to all the community, the local community, and the people who have a chance to live here. There is nothing better as a banker or an investor to be coming to something like this, coming to a groundbreaking or coming to a ribbon cutting and getting away from the desk and slaving over hot spreadsheets and seeing the smiles on people's faces who get to live here. Every year, the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard puts out a report. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you take a look on the website. The state of the nation's housing. The most recent one came out just a couple of months ago. And what's not surprising for those of us who live here is that according to the report, Los Angeles is among the least affordable communities in the United States. Half of all the households in Los Angeles are rent burdened. A third of all the households in Los Angeles are severely rent burdened, meaning that they spend more than 50% of their income on rent to live. Older people on a fixed income are among the most severely affected by the high cost of housing. Many are unable to afford food or have the necessary medical care or prescription drugs in order that they have enough money to make their rent payments. And that's why it's so important that we have projects like Durae, and I actually had a chance to see both parts of Durae, having gone over to 540 this morning, for the residents that are here. And it's not easy. From the list of speakers you're seeing here, it takes, as Tom says, it takes a village. A lot of folks working in concert to bring an affordable housing project into the world. But the vision, the planning, the execution of each component depends on the skill of a thoughtful, knowledgeable, and inexhaustible developer. And I gotta tell you, there isn't a better one in Los Angeles than Little Tokyo Service Center. So I really do want to thank you, Top, thank you, Dean, and the entire staff at Little Tokyo Service Center for staying with this for as long as you have and making it a reality. The city is really pleased to be part of the project and have the opportunity to work with you, our colleagues at the city, our colleagues at the county, and our colleagues at the state. We do need, as many of the speakers have said, a lot more money to house Los Angeles, to house all the needs throughout the state. And I do want to give a quick shout out, Top did it already, to Sonia Ram, who is our point person at Citigroup, City Community Capital, who works on this, as well as Brielle Acevedo, who's in the audience, Connie Lee, and the other thing that we do, we also have a very vibrant relationship with Little Tokyo Service Center from our foundation and our community development department, and James Allen is here representing them as well. So thank you. We hope to get a lot more ribbon cutting in the future. I appreciate being invited, Tom. Thank you. A lot of pictures.
So on this project, Union Bank is a tax credit investor providing nearly $10 million in low-income tax credit equity. Union Bank has been a leader in financing affordable housing with debt and equity products, and we appreciate both their flexibility and commitment to community development. Please welcome Preeka Bell, Director of Community Development Finance for Union Bank.
Good morning, everyone. We've heard from a lot of really amazing speakers, and so I'll try to keep it brief. Union Bank to date has invested over $3.5 billion in affordable housing, and you know we really believe in long-term investment and strategic partnership with collaboration that leverages the best of resources to provide permanent housing for seniors, like what's happening here at Durae Apartments, and then also for families and those with special needs. And I think we can all agree that what we have here in Durae is a leverage, right? A leverage of resources, a leverage of a lot of people. I was trying to count the number of financing sources. I think I got to 7, so that's a lot of partnership. And we definitely found that strategic partnership in LTSC, in the Korean Resource Center, and in Durae Alpha. And because of that, we're really pleased that with our $9.3 million investment here, you know, we're able to help provide affordable housing opportunities for the senior households here. And we're providing a permanent community anchor that can further spur community activation for more development and for more partnerships here as well. So we really want to thank LTSC and for their steadfast over 10-year resilience for this project. We want to thank the Korean Resource Center, who we know is providing a lot of valuable services and did a lot of work on the community action front. We want to thank Durae Alpha as well for allowing us to be a part of this community investment. And really want to again congratulate them on navigating the various community outreach, financial, design development, and construction-oriented challenges necessary to create this beautiful, vibrant place. We also want to thank the City of Los Angeles Community Housing Investment Department, and also the County of Los Angeles and the State of California for their steadfast partnership as well. We want to thank all the lenders and stakeholders who came together at different parts of this project. who along with CRA provided some of that high-risk early funds, and I also heard that the County of LA did as well. We also want to thank the Federal Home Loan Bank with their AHP funds, and really, finally, congratulations to all the residents. Thank you. I've seen this 14 times.
Thank you, Rika. So for years, the Local Initiative Support Corporation has invested millions in the field of community development. And in addition, they've provided technical assistance and leadership through different programs such as the HDTI that many of our project managers, including myself, has gone through. At this and so Liz, for this project, has provided acquisition loan over 10 years ago for this Crenshaw site, and we're really happy to have them here. At this time, please welcome Tanua Thrash and the Executive Director of Liz.
Thank you. So, well, good morning, everyone. I'll be brief as well. I see we're coming to the close of our program. As someone who has opened affordable housing developments and other developments, there are two great days that you get really excited about. One is the day that you host your grand opening and you have your elected officials, you have your financiers, and you're able to say thank you and congratulations. The second day is and really the first and most exciting day is the day that the residents move into the facility and you're able to open it up and see people coming in and the excitement of it all. And so I'm excited to see several residents here today and to know that their lives are going to be enriched and anchored by the experience of having a home and a place that they know is their community. I want to congratulate the Little Tokyo Service Center, the Korean Resource Center. It is no easy feat to stick with any project for a number of years, but certainly a decade is something to be acknowledged. I'd also say that the Local Initiative Support Corporation has invested in more than 11,000 units here in the greater Los Angeles area. And I would say we're certainly very well aware of the acute need for housing, for the homeless, for families, for seniors, and for kids. But I know three things for sure about LISC and our goal in making sure that we create more of those housing opportunities. First is that you have to have the capital. The vision, the dream, the excitement of wanting to build something like this, as we've heard from local residents, is something that begins with the leaders of the organizations that are Little Tokyo and KRC, as well as residents. But organizations like LISC invest early on and invest when there's nothing necessarily to invest in other than the dream and the hope that there is a home. Second, it is really all about making sure that we've got people on the ground like Dean, like Talk, and like their teams who have the know-how, who can figure out how do you cobble together 7+, probably even more capital sources in order to make this work. How do you make sure you're working with all of those entities that are needed? And we're happy to say at LISC that we provide that training, we provide that capacity building to make sure we've got the professionals to do it. And finally, until the day Los Angeles is able to open one of these every week, every other day, we've got a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. And I look forward to working with you in the field for that week, for those weeks to come, when we're opening a new Durae apartments just like this every week here in Los Angeles. Thank you. I just want to say that.
Last but not least, I do want to welcome Jim Yasenda up to the mic. He's the Vice President and Community Investment Officer from the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco. We wouldn't have been able to do it with the Federal Home Loan Bank's support through the $650,000 that we received through the Affordable Housing Program. Please welcome Jim Yasenda.
I've been doing this at the bank for over 36 years, and I always tend to find reasons to personalize these events and make it about me. I remember as a kid in the 50s and early 60s being in this neighborhood, visiting family and grandma and grandpa and aunts and cousins and stuff. And it was never identifiable to me except for a place where my grandmother lived. It's nice as an adult to come back to a place with a name, with an identity, and with very vibrant Korean American and immigrant community that is really one of the reasons why the Federal Home Loan Bank looks at projects like this. It's not just how good the project is in terms of bricks and mortar, it's the people that are being served and the people that are there to make the thing happen. And we salute all of you, the board of directors and the shareholders of the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco are pleased to be partners with you in this. These are monies that come from our shareholders. It's not tax dollars or government dollars, despite our name, Federal Home Loan Bank. It's really money coming from the profits of the bank that are plowed into work that our members are doing, our past members like City and current members like Union, sorry Richard, that participate in our affordable housing program. And we're pleased to be available to them. We also recognize the work of Little Tokyo Service Center in particular. Since Casa Hiwa, their project in Little Tokyo, where we made a large AHP grant to way back when, since then they continue to pick our pockets in our program and make use of the money in wonderful ways, and particularly because they bring in new partners each time, it seems. There are a variety of other nonprofits and community groups that they bring into the process that become familiar with us. On another personal level, it's interesting, I'm sandwiched between two people who play an important part in current, future, and past with the Affordable Housing Program. Tanua is on our Affordable Housing Advisory Council, as is Dean Matsubayashi. They are people who really help us at the bank understand what is happening in the community to make sure that what we're doing with our money rings true and meets real needs in efficient and effective ways. John Stern, who I believe follows me up here, John was instrumental in the early days of the establishment of the Affordable Housing Program back at the Federal Home Loan, it was the Federal Housing Finance Board at the time. Yeah, way back when, the agency. So John knows where it comes from, and he's seen the growth over the years. Federal Home Loan Bank is pleased to be the largest provider in the country of these dollars. We're closing in on $1 billion a program through our bank alone, funded by our shareholders, going out to the community, helping our members be parts of the solution, helping their nonprofit partners become the doers of the solution. So we are so happy to be part of this. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. So the DECO group came onto the project when the second site, located at 540 South Kingsley Drive, was acquired. Since then, they proved to be a great asset and a great partner, and we definitely look forward to partnering with them on future projects. At this time, please welcome John Stern from the DECO group.
Good morning, all. And I am John Stern, and I work with DECO Alpha, the nonprofit D in the LDK moniker. I'd like to thank Jim Shaner and Candace Luna at Leisure for the opportunity to represent DECO during the production of this project. And I've got a problem. I don't know what to do with my Wednesday mornings anymore. For the last year and a half, this wonderful team I worked with to produce these two buildings met religiously at 9:30 Wednesday morning to hash out the issues of the week, go through the current status reports, and eat donuts. Now, how am I going to replace that? There was the great architectural team of Brian Tan and Angela Perez, who, among other miracles, figured out a way to satisfy 3 conflicting sets of state and federal handicap requirements that Ms. Yee was talking about earlier. Then there was the hired gun of a construction manager, Freddie Pinero, who can spot and tell you how to deal with virtually any problem during the building process while keeping every drop of water a building owner's bane where it's supposed to be. The project managers from LTSC, Laura Blosser and Monaco Ferrante, who kept the project on track. The heroes of each meeting from Walton Construction, the job site superintendents, Richard Eaton and Scott Moses, their leader Cameron Hawkins, and the generous owners of the company, Tom Gibson and Lee Jackson. Other partners in this effort were Juan Song and Isabel Kang from KRC, and the inimitable Perla Eston, who made sure the numbers worked. Then once a month, the lenders' representatives would arrive and participate to see what had gotten done and approve the loan draws. That's when the really good donuts showed up. So now on Wednesdays, I sit and daydream about those donuts and all the wonderful camaraderie we shared producing these wonderful structures that will provide housing for many decades for those in my age group. And I know that the property is in good hands with the manager, Helen Lee, and maintenance man, Moon Bay, their supervisor, Liz Pearson, and all the good people from Levine Property Management. But darn, that's what I forgot. I didn't apply for one of the new homes. And now I'd like to introduce the new CEO of Durae Group Companies, Durae Group of Companies, Ted Handel. And I'll let him take the picture.
John, thank you. For those of you who are not familiar with Durae, it was founded actually in 1989. We're a nonprofit organization. We were set up by the late Reverend Clark Harshfield, who was a co-founder of Retirement Housing Foundation. And as most, if not all of you are aware, RHF is one of the largest developers of affordable housing projects for seniors throughout the United States. In part of that effort, of course, also was my colleague Jim Shaner, who's president of Durae. So this project very much exemplifies and furthers our mission of providing senior housing that is safe, affordable, and has the necessary support of housing services that the residents need. As Dean said, and has also been echoed many times, you know, it took a long time to bring this project to fruition, and we were very fortunate, as Todd mentioned, a few years ago to be invited to participate financially and otherwise in this development. And the thing it stresses is, as much as John has talked about the effort that goes through once you get the project financed and underway, the collaboration that goes through, the other thing that's very important to us is the notion of partnership. Partnering with nonprofit organizations like Little Tokyo, and the Korean Resource Center, and being able to bring our resources to be able to help bring these projects to fruition. So we look forward to a very successful project, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ted. Sorry, Ted. Yeah, you don't get a. So at this time, I want to introduce the executive director from the Korean Resource Center, Jun Bae. He will be providing the closing remarks for this program.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much for attending our grand opening, our ribbon cutting for the Durae apartments. 오늘 이렇게 Durae 아파트 개막식에 오시면 너무 환영하고 너무 감사드립니다. Thank you so much. One of the great benefits of working for a community-based organization is that we actually get to meet with and hear the stories of our community members. It's widely publicized that this project took over a decade to come into fruition. But what is little known is on the day of registration, when the applications were open to the community, senior citizens from 5 in the morning started lining up. Over 4,000 people applied for a 65-unit low-income senior apartment complex. So that gives you an idea of the need here in our community. One of our tenants here has agreed to come and share her story with all of you. And so would you welcome one of our tenants, Ms. Sung Kim.
통역 필요하신가요?
그냥
She's gonna speak in Korean and then Young's gonna translate English for her.
안녕하세요. 저는 두레 아파트 410호에 사는 김성순입니다. 제 주위에 많은 사람들이 제가 큰 복권에 당첨됐다고들 말합니다. 그래서 사실은 복권은 그만큼 확률이 작지 않습니까? 그런 나에게 그런 행운이 저에게 다가왔습니다.
Hello, my name is Sung Soon Kim, and I live in Unit 410 in this apartment. When I was accepted to the apartment, people said, "You won a big lottery." A big lottery, and you know, lotteries have an even smaller probability than this. But I think for me, it was a great blessing having been able to move into this apartment.
제가 방이 없어서 제 언니 아파트 리빙룸에 살았답니다. 그런 어느 날 제가 신문을 보고 아파트 신청을 하게 됐습니다. 근데 저에게 꿈 같은 일이 생겼습니다. 연락이 온 것이죠.
So I didn't have a room to live before, so I was living in with my older sister in my older sister's living room before. And one day I saw this newspaper announcement that this new apartment being built and that people should apply. So I applied, and I had no idea that I was able to be selected. My application be selected.
전화 연락이 온 그 후에 마음을 졸이면서 하루하루 살았답니다. 사실 제가 제일 궁금한 것은 아파트가 어떻게 이렇게 구조가 되었을까, 그게 제일 사실 궁금했고요. 그러고 나서 그 후에 아파트에 입주하고 이럴 때 정말 완벽한 아파트였습니다. 정말 멋지고 아파트. 그를 알게 주신 것을 너무나 감사합니다.
So I got the call to come for the interview and so forth. And one thing I was very curious about is what's the structure of the apartment, are the rooms large, and things like that. So I checked it out and it was perfect. Everything was great, very spacious, and I'm very grateful to have been selected for the apartment.
이 모든 것들이 새 삶을 사는 나에게 많은 힘이 되었습니다. 먼저 하나님께 감사드리고 민족학교 그리고 리드 도쿄 서비스 센터 또 그 보이지 않게 많은 수고를 하신 여러분들과 또 아파트를 위해 수고하시는 헬렌 매니저님과 그의 직원 여러분들에게 감사드립니다. 감사합니다.
And I would like to thank the many people who made this project possible. I would like to thank God. I would like to thank the Korean Resource Center, the Tokyo Service Center, and many other organizations and investors who made this possible. The many people who campaigned for this apartment, our manager, Helen, and many people who are working here at the center. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing our next speaker. Unfortunately, he's not here today, but I want to share a little bit about our president, KRC's president, Daejung DJ Yoon. When I first met him, we had sundubu together. I don't know if you've all had, it's a tofu dish in Koreatown here. But we went out to eat and we were talking, and my takeaway from that meeting was, I was struck by how kind and humble and passionate he was, especially towards the community that he served. I thought it's really important to also recognize that through the past 10 years, he was really the inspiration. He provided the inspiration and the passion and the drive for the Korean Resource Center to stick with it, stick with the dream and the vision. So we have a short clip for you. If you could all maybe head towards the TV. Or here, behind you.
Hello, friends and supporters. Thank you so much for celebrating our Durae senior apartment with us today. I really wish I was there, but unfortunately, one of those things in life happened and I'm out of town for the meeting. After almost 10 years of collaboration with you all, there are so many stories to share. But at this moment, only thing I like to say is, yes, we did it together. Over 10 years, we had many challenges on this journey. Getting neighbor support was not easy. Securing public and private funding was hard. But our senior members talked with every neighbor in this community, and they made many testimonies before city and county policymakers. And we received a great support. When we faced funding challenges, our partnership with LKC, architects, and DECO got stronger, and we developed more partnership and friendship with many private lenders. More than anything, you all gave a hope to our low-income senior members. Before this Durae apartment project site, we saw many low-income seniors coming to a Korean Resource Center, sharing their hardship and frustration moving into the affordable apartment. Many of those seniors were paying 70% or more of their income for the rent, and they were all sharing that they had been waiting years and years. 10 years ago, the seniors were just waiting in line silently. But now, after 10 years, we see that many of senior members are so proud of their hard work looking at this Durae apartment. Now they all want to build more of affordable housing apartment. I see a pride, dignity in their eyes. When we opened up the application process for the Durae apartment last November, more than 4,000 seniors applied. And now they are asking us, when are we going to build more? I really appreciate this partnership that empowered our low-income senior members. And now they are more vocal and fired up to advocate for more affordable housing. And we are hungry for more. I believe more exciting years to come in coming months and years. And I really believe our partnership will continue and our partnership will be stronger to provide more affordable housing to all the senior members in our community. Once again, I really, really appreciate and thanks to you all for such a great support and partnership and creating a hope to our community members. Thank you.
안녕하세요. 오늘 두레 연장자 아파트 입주 환영 행사에 함께해 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. 제가 이 자리에 모든 분들과 함께 하고 싶은 마음이 간절했는데 부득이한 사정이 생겨서 현재 타 지역에 출장을 나왔습니다. 죄송합니다. 지난 10여 년의 시간 동안 여러분들과 함께 포기하지 않고 두레 아파트를 짓게 되어 이 기쁜 마음을 말로 다 표현할 수 없을 정도입니다. 지난 10년 동안 많은 단체, 정치인, 그리고 금융기관에서 한마음 한뜻으로 도와줬습니다. 하지만 제일 큰 감사를 드리고 싶은 분들은 바로 연장자분들입니다. 지난 10여 년의 과정 속에서 많은 어려움들이 있었습니다. 주민들의 반대가 있을 때 연장자 여러분들이 직접 주민들을 직접 만나시고 서명도 받으셨습니다. 정부 기금 받기가 어려워졌을 때 연장자분들이 바로 시청이나 카운티 정부 담당자들에게 왜 저소득층 아파트가 필요한지 지원하셨습니다. 바로 그런 여러분들의 모든 참여와 활동으로 오늘 이러한 평가를 얻을 수 있게 된 것 같습니다. 민족학교에는 매일같이 많은 연장자분들이 오셔서 저소득층 아파트에 들어가고 싶어 하십니다. 10년 전에는 내가 언제 들어갈 수 있겠냐, 얼마나 기다려야 하는지 저희들에게 물어보셨습니다. 하지만 요즘에는 많은 연장자분들이 저희들에게 오셔서 왜 더 많이 아파트를 짓지 않느냐고 여쭤보십니다. 저희 이민자들이 영어도 힘들고 살아가는데 여러 어려움도 있겠지만 함께 힘을 모으고 뜻을 모으면 시간이 좀 걸리겠지만 두레 아파트 같은 곳을 직접 지을 수 있다는 교훈을 주었습니다. 저희는 아파트 두 채로 만족해야 하지 않습니다. 이것은 시작에 불과하다고 생각합니다. 더 많은 저소득층 아파트가 지어져서 도움이 필요하신 연장자분들이 편하게 살 수 있도록 희망을 가져봅니다. 앞으로도 계속해서 저희와 함께 연장자분들에게 희망, 또 커뮤니티의 희망을 함께 만들어가 주실 것을 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다, 여러분. Hello, friends and supporters. Thank you so much.
All right, how's everybody doing? We have a very special treat for you. Our CHP Korean Health Promoters have come together to put on a very small cultural show for you. So if you could join me in welcoming them, please, let's give them a hand.
가사 조금 넣어줘, 가사를. 화면에다가? 준비 안 되는데. 안 됐어.
오셔서 감사합니다. 저희는 누가 통역 좀 부탁합니다. 저희는 아까도 발표했지만 아까도 말씀드렸지만요. 연장자 모임 중에서도 많이 앞에서 도와주셨던 분들이 오늘 그래도 여러분들이 오셨기 때문에 한국의 한국의 모습을 보여드리고 싶어서 한국 커스텀도 입고 잘하지는 못하지만 하여튼 오늘 이렇게 그 느낌을 가지셨으면 감사하겠습니다.
아 이쁘다.
Hello, so these are members of our seniors community group, Community Health Promoters, and we are here to show traditional Korean cultural traditions. We'll be singing two songs, Arirang and Durae, which are two traditional songs, and we'll share with everyone. Please enjoy it.
아리랑
What did you think? Thank you so much. So, in closing, I'd like to ask everyone to just look around the room. This is the diversity that is representative of Los Angeles and Koreatown. And I think when the project came together and they were thinking about a name for the project, they thought of community. And I think it takes a community to be able to resurrect and to watch into fruition something this important here. With that said, the background music, I'd like to acknowledge some really important people and committees and organizations that ensure that we would succeed with this project. First, I'd like to thank the California Tax Credit Allocation Committee, the California Debt Limit Allocation Committee who administered the allocation of the bonds, NeighborWorks America, National Capacity for providing technical assistance with funding. And I'd also like to recognize some of our LTSC partners here. When I call your name, if you could please stand, and as I say stand, would you please just recognize them and just give them a round of applause. So I'd like to begin with Laura. She's in the back over there. Please give her a hand. Milako is on this corner right here. Please stand. Ray is at the front here. Neil, our real estate director, is he in the room somewhere? Okay. And also, I'd like to thank Korean Resource Center staff. If you could all maybe just stand from where you're seated so everyone can recognize you for all your hard work and putting this together. Would you please stand, KRC staff? And also, I know we have some of our Walton partners in the back. If you could please stand, they work to ensure that all of our, the building is functioning well, and please give them a hand. So that concludes our long program. Thank you so much again for joining us and for celebrating with us this incredible opportunity here in our community. I just want to point to a few things. If you look in the corner here, we have a handprint wall. Our staff came together with the idea of allowing everyone here present today to stamp their hand on the wall. You could write a little note or your name just to commemorate the celebration. Also, we have a small makeshift photo booth here, which is really creative and really fun. So I'd like to encourage all of you to make full use of that. We're going to have our ribbon cutting right after this, so if we can have our representatives and financial supporters, as well as LTSC and KRC, and as well as DCRO as well, if you can meet us in the front here. Another thing is we have self-guided tours of the units. You'll see signs here in the corridor here. You can take the elevator up to the 3rd floor, and you can see what a 1-bedroom and a studio here in our building looks like. Apart from that, after you're done with your tour and your handprints, we have beverages and food prepared for you. So enjoy. Thank you.